Welcome to Broke Ass to Badass, where heart-led entrepreneurs learn to build the businesses and lives of their dreams with confidence, ease, and joy. This is the anti-hustle movement, and we're your coaches in badassery, Kimi and Pua.
Find out more at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening to this, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Happy New Year, guys. This episode is a live training we did recently on Facebook. In this episode, we take you through our favorite end of the year, New Year ritual. So for this one, get your calendar out, your favorite pen and your journal, and get ready to set yourself up for the best year yet. In this training, we're going to walk you through a series of quality questions that will help you to move gracefully and joyously into the new year with gratitude, clarity, ease, and excitement. You'll hear that we definitely forgot to click record when we first hopped on Facebook. So we really just jump right into things. It's been that kind of week with the holiday haze and all. But don't worry, we didn't leave anything out in this episode. We would love to hear how this process goes for you. Of course, any time is a great time to do this training, but it's a fun way to kick off your 2019. So let us know how it goes. Hop on into the tribe on Facebook, bledigital.com/tribe, and let us know what you thought.
We were talking about how, first of all, the 4 days between Christmas and New Year's, or 5 days or whatever, it's like fake time. No one's really doing anything but like zoning out, which is awesome. And then I don't remember what else we said. Something about, New Year's resolutions. Okay, I got it. So Kimi and I have been doing this for, I don't know how long. We don't know how long. But for however long we've been doing this, we've had a podcast, and every single year we do a New Year's episode on why New Year's resolutions are so dumb and why it's so like irresponsible of us as a society to encourage people to make a decision for the next 12 months of their lives on this one day, and as soon as they like fail to accomplish part of it, they've failed. Like, my New Year's resolution, I've already failed. It's only January 3rd. I don't know. It's just so crazy. And I think at this point, we all understand the truth behind that. And we've also, ever since we've started, been doing weekly planning. And we've also, ever since we started, have been saying that this weekly planning process is like a New Year's resolution for you every single week. You get to recreate that energy and sink into that excitement and planning and expansiveness whenever you want. And that's what we're going to do today. And it just happens to be January 1st.
Yay.
When this comes out.
So fun. And really, what we've also been reflecting on too is that sometimes we can, us included, get really caught up in this energy of just like, because a year, right, we were reflecting back, and often there's a lot of growth that happens. There's, when we're thinking back about the year, we're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm just ready for like new energy, right? So there's this temptation to be like, okay, bye 2018, see you later. I'm ready for the new year. Who it is, like walking on into it without really taking that moment to stop and slow down and look back and see what we can appreciate about the year before and what we can learn from it, because your best intentions for the future are going to come from what you've learned from what you've experienced, right? If you just blindly go into the future saying like, oh, this is, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. If there's so much richness in the experiences that we've had where we can go back and say like, okay, what worked? What didn't work? And so that's a lot of what we're going to be doing today. And I was just reading this email actually from Tim Ferriss, and he sends this out every year. And I love the way he phrases this. He does like a past year review instead of resolutions. He says that like for the past decade or whatever, he hasn't done New Year's resolutions. And this is his method. He goes through his calendar week by week from like January 1, 2018, all the way up to today or the new year. And week by week, he has two columns, and he writes positive and negative. And he just writes like, okay, these are the things that brought the highest like positive experiences. And then these were the most, challenging or negative, including people, places, whatever. And then he figures out what were the positives, and he gets those like scheduled out into his calendar. And then he looks at the things that, dragged him down throughout the year. And he basically has like a don't do list or like don't talk to this person list for the year, which as a reminder for the year. And I thought that's a really simple approach, and it makes I think that really resonates with me. And I think that's really what this, similar to the process that we've created, where it's just about looking for clues in the things that we track so that we can create the best year yet for ourselves.
You know why that's so rad? Why all of this makes so much sense? So, okay. Let me try to make some conscious words here. So I often think about how crazy it is that the two places that I always have the best ideas are the shower and my car while I'm driving, because I can't, I don't have an Apple Watch, right? So I can't be on my phone in the shower, and I can't, or I'm not supposed to because it's illegal, be on my phone while I'm driving, although we'll leave it at that. So normally, I don't spend a ton of time plugged into things in the shower or while I'm driving. So I always have these great ideas. But so think about now, where do you guys have your best ideas? And what's the circumstance around that, right? Okay. So if you think about that, think about what kind of ideas come to you in those places. And for me, it's across the board. It's so random, and it depends on what I'm thinking about at the time, right? It's like if you're lying in bed and you're reflecting on your day, you might have an idea about what you want to do the next day or whatever. But it's random, right? So if we can recreate these unplugged circumstances or these places where we are kind of in the flow and we're channeling, but it's directed, that's what these processes are for. And the way we do that is by questioning. So rather than just saying I'm just going to sit here and just reflect on my year randomly, we ask questions. Tim Ferriss has a structure, and structure bothers me, but at the same time, you almost have to put the structure in place in order to expand into your limitless potential. Otherwise, you're just kind of all over the place, right? Which is fine too. There's a time and a place for that. But so Tim Ferriss, right? He's this is what worked for me. This is what didn't, and things will fall into that structure. For us, we have our planner, right? And if you guys don't have a copy, bledigital.com/badass. Mm-hmm. Yep, you can grab a copy, and it's essentially a book of questions. Weekly planner, year in review, it doesn't matter. What matters is the quality of the questions. And then you're able to put yourself in that flow state. As long as you are in a good environment, you can unplug, whatever that is, and start to generate these really expansive, limitless, both reflections and plans for the future.
Do you know why that is such a cool example? Such a great example is if you were to plan out your 2019, it wouldn't be your first intuition or impulse probably to say I'm going to schedule more time in the shower or time in the car, right? But if you do this review process, you can say okay, if the majority of my ideas are coming to me when I'm in this downtime, then how can I create more unplugged states throughout the year? And then you can look at your calendar and schedule out that unplugged time. Maybe it's not scheduling out your showers for the year. That'd be a little bit weird, but right. You're okay, unplugged time means ideas, right? So this activity yields the most return on investment. But that wouldn't be something I would think that, you would probably think about unless you reflected back and really took that time, because we tend to naturally feel like life is about doing more, right? Okay, what are the things that I need to do? And so, but it's a lot of times the best results are coming from those periods of nothingness, right? And we don't have enough of that white space scheduled into our calendar. So I love that example. Okay, so what we're going to be, so this is a actually interactive training that we're going to be doing. So whenever you're listening to this, whether you're watching the replay, watching us live, or on the podcast, this is a great one where you can just if you can, not be driving, and get out some pen and paper and just really take some time to reflect on each of these questions that we're going to share. And let's get started. So the first question that we love to start with, and again, this is all in our planner too. So each week we're asking, or each month we're asking ourselves these as sort of this overview of the month in review. And we've really just shifted this to like the year in review, 2018 in the year in review. So the first question is, what can you celebrate about this past year? What can you celebrate about this past year? And what badassery did you create? And what are you the most proud of? And I like have a confession. Sometimes in the weekly planning process, like I've been known to want to like skip over this question. And I feel so like terrible saying that because I know that it's the most important question, but there's a part of me always that I'm resisting where I just want to like, I'm just like, I don't want to look back. I just want to move forward. But this is so important because we really want to take that time to celebrate how far we've come and remember, as we've said many times, that our motivation, our inspiration, our satisfaction and fulfillment in life doesn't come from thinking about how much more we want to do. Like there's a part of us that thinks like, okay, thinking about our big goals and our dreams is like, that's what drives us. Actually, no, it's really taking the time to enjoy how far you've come, to celebrate, to be grateful, to like take a freaking moment and be proud of yourself. And I'm constantly having to remind myself of that. And so I just put that out there because if you feel resistant to this, like you don't want to look back and really take the time to think about this, it's so worth it because you're going to be like, oh my God, look at this past year. You're right. I did do so much. I did create this. And especially for us forward thinking creatures, this is the most important step of this whole process.
Forward thinking creatures. I like it. Yeah. So Jer in the comments said she is going to use the photos in her phone to remind herself of the things that happened this year. And I gotta say, from someone who posted 1 million Instagram posts last night at midnight, I was okay. Guys, you know me. I don't like social media. I don't use it that much. So I posted for the first time in like months, and I just got like, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more and more and more. And I started out, I just wanted to like create a TBT, like a Throwback Thursday post to promote our next Wild Aloha event. And I just freaking snowballed. Like I posted pictures from our photo shoots with like us and Jer and Shaylin. And then I posted hula stuff. Like it was crazy. But it also forced me, it was joyfully forced me to see all the cool things that happened in the last few months. And Jer, that is such an epic idea. I love it so much because it's so fun. It's like so cool. And we forget. We just take out our phones, we snap a picture, and then we put it away and we never look at it again. So great idea.
I have another idea for that I learned from Courtney Pierce. And she told me that she did this thing, and I did it too, where you go to your Instagram stories archive and you can watch your whole year in like a series of stories.
Oh yeah.
It is so cool. So if you go if you go to your Instagram, there's that little like clock thing, that's your archive. You just click that and you can just like put it down and just watch it go click, 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 and see your whole
I did that
year.
last night too.
It's so fun, right? It's a trip.
Well, I don't really use it that much, so I didn't have too much in there. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Instagram's pretty trippy. It's changed a lot since I've used it last. They've really improved a lot of things. I won't go into that, but it was fun. The other thing you can do is if you use any sort of calendar system, you can go back through your calendar and just kind of see, like our Google Calendar is a pretty good indication of what we've been doing all year. Not as fun as photos, but
also if you have a gratitude journal or anything like that, that's another good one too. You can look back on what you were grateful for.
Oh my God. My gratitude journal is so depressing because it's like all about things that I'm forcing myself to be grateful for. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh God, I feel like crap.
I do.
I'm grateful for my health.
Oh my God. I just looked at New Year's Day gratitude journal, and that's so funny you said that because I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot I was sick as a dog last New Year's Eve, and I didn't remember that. I didn't remember. And my first one is like, I'm so grateful for the fever that I had last night. I was like, oh my God. Oh, it's hilarious.
I mean, it helps to shift in the moment, but
Yes.
looking back, you're like, oh man.
Oh God.
Where were we? What are we talking about? Who are we?
Okay, so next question.
Next question. I don't know. You go.
Do you have okay.
I have a lot going on my right here.
Perfect. Okay, so that was the first question, right? What can you celebrate? What badassery did you create? What are you most proud of? And the second question is, what can you learn about this past year? What worked? What didn't work? And what are you ready to shift? So this is just like diving deeper in. This like really reminds me of the Tim Ferriss, like, the looking back, kind of figuring out what gave you the most heightened emotional, positive feelings throughout the year, and what were the things that were like, oh, this I am done with. And again, we want to just sort of not. Sometimes it's funny and weird, I think, to label things as like good or bad, because it is kind of blurry, right? There's good and bad and everything, but we kind of know, right? We kind of can look back on our year and say, like, what are maybe the commitments that we had that just didn't light us up? What are the biggest lessons that we're taking away, that we're learning? What were the biggest aha moments? So anything as you're going through your calendar, your journal, your photos, that you can really begin to identify what worked and what didn't, right? That's like, to me, like one of the simplest questions we can ask ourselves is, what's working? What's not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty straightforward.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay.
I'm like, think of something cool to say.
I'm going to give you the next. I'm going to read the next one, and then.
I found the doc.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Number 3. Over to
Number 3. Got it. I'm gonna close everything else. No, I almost
don't.
Dang it.
Bye.
Bye. See you in 2019.
You're like, this isn't working for me.
What's not working for me? Okay. Number 3. What are your big badass goals, and what is your intention for this next year? Oh, okay. So last night, while I wasn't sleeping and while I was checking Instagram for all my likes, I came across, so I subscribe to all these business news things. I don't know why. They're really interesting to me. And this article, I read this article, and it said something like, we need to prepare for hard times ahead. And I was like, it's depressing. What's this about? So I read it, and it's basically like, it's nothing we don't already know. Like, they've been predicting that a recession or a depression is coming in 2019. And they've been talking about this for years. And right, like, prepare for hard times ahead, right? Like, you want to make sure that you have all of your financial security in order, and you are like, you have job security, and that you're a good employee, and that they want you to stick around in case they have big layoffs, and people aren't going to be buying if there's a recession. So make sure that you have stuff saved, like bleh. So I'm like reading this, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I know this is supposed to spark feelings of discomfort and fear and anxiety in me, because that's what these kinds of articles are written for, right? That's the emotion that it's supposed to evoke. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I'm so stoked, and I'm so grateful that we have our own business, that we create our own wealth, that we create our own abundance, that we're in control, right? Because the only thing that is scary when you think about a time like that coming soon is if you're not actually secure, if you're not actually in control. When does that happen? When you're dependent on someone else to give you your paycheck, when you are an employee under someone else's rules, right? So if nothing else in 2019, like, if you're a part of this group, if you're watching this, you're probably a business owner, you want to start something, you're interested, you want to maybe create something on the side, you want to turn your side hustle into a big business, whatever that is, that's why you're here. That's why you're seeing this. And I don't feel bad about saying this. If there's anybody who is an employee listening to this, like, it's something to think about. Think about, if you have these badass visions of being an entrepreneur, of starting your own business, this is a great time to do that. It's always a great time to do that. But if you start to hear stories of this big recession is coming, blah, 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 and it makes you feel scared, turn that fear into excitement and start the thing. Right? And I'm just like, if that is your badass goal, if that is your answer to number 3, it's just a little nudge to do it, because now is as good a time as any, right? I don't know why I started talking about that.
I love that. I think
it's
a great point. And you know what? I think it leads so perfectly into the next question, which is, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Who and how do you need to be in order to step into this next level of badassery, right? So who must you become in order to achieve what you desire, and what new beliefs must you have? And I think that's so perfect, because what you're really talking about too is like a rewiring of some people's belief system, right? And like a redefining of what security is, and a redefining of what freedom means. And so, yeah, like really think about this, whatever, like this is the next step of you identify what it is that you desire in your heart, and where like resolutions might fail or goals might fail, or where we start feeling stuck as we work towards something, is because we haven't adopted the new beliefs and really taken on the new beliefs that we need to have in order to step into that version of ourselves. So this question is so important. It's like, what if your goal is, for example, to start the thing, launch the business, grow your business, do something that is different from what you have done, what new beliefs do you need to have? Like this step is so critical. So start writing out, right? Like what beliefs does somebody say it is that you want to start an online business? What beliefs does that person have about themselves and their abilities? What belief systems do they have about what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? You can, if your goal is to start a business of your own, but your belief is that it's hard, well, guess what? It's going to be hard, right? And somebody that actually had a thriving online business, their belief system wouldn't be that it's hard. Their belief system would be that it's fun, it's easy, it's joyous. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are puzzles to solve, but they are also supported. And that to them represents freedom and true security, because they are the generator of their own wealth. So as you're thinking about your intention, as you're thinking about, I keep like almost saying the word goals and then like wanting to take it back, because so many people have such PTSD around the word goal. But we know what we mean, right? Goals.
I like it. Goals are good.
Yeah, goals are good. And I think,
no, I'm just kidding.
I think the belief that we need to let go of, because goals are not bad, right? Goals are great. It's the stuff that that we lay on ourselves if we don't achieve the goal in the way that we think that we were going to.
The
right?
word goal is connected to failure, which that's the part that's BS.
Yes, that's the part that's BS. So we have a lot of stories around like, what does it mean if you don't quote unquote reach your goal? And so it's those stories that we want to rewrite, let go of, right? Because goals in themselves, they're great. They actually, it's like a target, right? It's like shooting for something. So yeah.
And that's why like crazy, huge, awesome goals are so powerful, because yes, if you have $1 million goal your first year of business, the likelihood of you achieving that, it might happen. It is damn well possible. But if it doesn't, if $1 million was your target and you did all of your planning and you calculated all of your metrics and everything to reach $1 million, guess where you're going to fall? 300,000, 500,000, right? You weren't even halfway there, but that's a shit ton of money you made in that first year. Oh crap. Sorry. Whatever. Because you had that as your goal. So a goal is not, we don't set a goal with the intention of achieving it. That is what I think the issue is. You don't have to achieve a goal for whatever that is to be a success. It's something to reach for.
Yep.
And quite frankly, most of the time people's goals aren't big enough. And that's also why they feel weird. Anyway, something I wanted to just kind of touch on in this question question is, who and how do you need to be? Now, this isn't who are you gonna be when this happens, or who do you want to be when you've achieved this, this, and that. It's who do you need to be, as in right now, today. And this is so huge. And I will say, like, you're all, oh, girls, like, it's so easy for you to say this. You guys are so happy all the time. And you just, this and that. Like, no, we also have to work on this. And if you could hear our conversations when we're not recording a podcast, sometimes they sound very different, right? Like sometimes I can be a broke ass and I got to shift it constantly, right? And so this is a work in progress, but it's so important. Ask yourself, who do you need to be? Who are you being? Who do you want to be? And be it now. Be that person today. Do you want to be a bajillionaire? Cool. You will be. Start stepping into that. Do you want to travel around the world and build homes? Cool. You will. Who do you need to be today to step into that, right? Do you want to join Habitat for Humanity and build a home locally, wherever you live, and start there, right? There are always small steps, but it's a matter of stepping into that energy, like right now, today. What is that book that we read?
That is like the biggest secret to life right there. Like, if you take nothing else from this, like, that is it. It's oh God, it's I always forget the title. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great read. That is. Yeah.
And it's like scientific.
It is.
It's like quantum physics. Like, it's just
neuroscience, guys.
It's a thing. Like, we're not just like, woo, woo, like, connect to your spirit and things will happen. No, it's like real. Yes, connect to your spirit and things will happen because it's scientifically proven. Like, it's just, whatever. It's a black hole.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Where were we? Number 5. Okay. Number 5. Is there anything that you need to shed, let go of, say no to, release, say bye Felicia to with love and compassion in order to step into this next level of badassery? So and this is, we started to talk about the beliefs that we need to adopt, the energy that we want to be in order to create this new reality, right? But what also do we need to let go of? So this is like your broke ass thoughts, the limiting beliefs, and maybe it's commitments, maybe, and again, we said with love, but maybe it is relationships or certain time that we spend doing certain things or spending certain time. Maybe it's habits, perhaps, right? So again, this is without, I think that we have to remember that we can let go of these things with love and compassion, right? Just like that, just throw them back again to that Ariana Grande song, Thank You Next, right? Where she's like, it's like she's moving on, but also she's saying thank you to her ex, right? So it's that energy of like, you can love and appreciate something and let it go with total compassion. You can appreciate the presence that it had in your life and what it brought to you, all the lessons, all the learning, all the joy, all the pain, all the struggle, all the strength, and choose to let it go from that place. And that is such a more, it sets you up for such a more healing experience, right? Where we let it go of just like, instead of just being like, bye, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to talk about it. That is like burying something. We're not talking about like burying things in your life. We're talking about looking at it, saying thank you, I love you, next.
So it's a feel it to heal it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you don't, guys, so I have a feeling some people out there who found us as digital media creators, web developers, whatever, they're like, what are you guys talking about? Like, how does this have anything to do with being a business owner or making websites or whatever? Like, this is everything to do with it, because all of this. So the reason why we run our business the way we do, the reason why we have our 8-week online course for entrepreneurs, the reason why we have our podcast, why we talk about things like this, is because being in alignment, having clarity, healing our past trauma, understanding that it is, we're like work-life integration, like all of it is connected. So if we don't heal these things, or if we don't acknowledge them, it leaks into our business. And I know it sounds crazy. I don't even know how to talk about this, but the energy will, like the clear, and doesn't need to be like clean energy, like clean energy future for the world. Like it's different, but it's just like, it's aligned energy. It's energy that's like, I don't even know. What am I saying? I don't.
Yeah. Because like, however you, like whatever energy you create something in, that energy is going to be felt in the product or the service. Right.
Yeah.
So it's so important that you come into each day, each moment, each creation of whatever it is. And we've experienced this in our many years of business, that if you create something from broke ass energy, it's going to be felt on a subconscious level. Like, again, this is because people can feel behind the words and feel like there's this great meme around that says like, there is no Photoshop filter for your energy. Right. And so you can like put all the filters or whatever on you want on the work that you put out there in the world. But if your energy is not aligned behind it, it's going to be a lot stickier and a lot more difficult.
This partnership is so great. I'm like, and you're like, here, that's what you mean.
I think that's the box. But I wouldn't have a box to give you if you didn't put that out there. So it's perfect. It all
where are we?
Number 6.
Garbage truck. Oh my God. Can I just tell you? I realized that I was wearing a gray shirt today. So right before we recorded, I put paper towels in my armpits. And looks like they're holding up.
All right. So you can add that to the list of what's working in 2018.
What's working? Armpit paper towels. Anyway, number 6. Okay. What are the most important, bold, badass action steps, MEBAs, if you will you take in the next 30 days to create the business and life of your dreams? Bonus. Take these, share them in our tribe on Facebook, and like this is for accountability. It's not just for us to be like, let's grow our Facebook group. Like, this is for you. Post it in the group and let our tribe hold you accountable, supercharge your intentions, and put it out there into the universe so that like, you're like, all right, this scares me a little bit, but not only am I going public with it, but I'm telling you, I'm telling the universe, I'm telling myself that it is something that I intend to do in the next 30 days. And then part 2, do it.
I love that. You know, isn't it so funny? Like, if I would say, if you were looking for one thing to like help you to achieve whatever it is that you want to this year, if you were to just say, okay, I'm going to make one commitment to myself, one resolution, if you will, and that is that I will not set a goal or intention without sharing it with another person, I guarantee your year will be phenomenal.
Whoa, that's like getting 3 wishes and wishing for another wish.
Right?
That's like really hacking the system.
Yeah, because that's the piece that most people either don't do, forget, or just aren't aware of, or they're afraid to do, right? There's that other piece of it too, where we have all these ideas and dreams and visions that we're holding inside, and yet we're the only ones holding us accountable for it. And we all know we'll break commitments to ourselves all day long. But if we've just simply told somebody else, it's different. And there's something really, like you talked about, supercharging, right? Supercharging your tensions. There's something about putting it out there into the world that makes it feel real. And so, yeah, there you go. There's your one thing to do this year to make your year the best year yet. Tell someone. Tell us. Every Monday in the tribe, we have MEBA Monday, #MEBA Monday, most important, bold, badass action Monday. And we have people that share, what are their 3 things that they're going to work on. And then we love checking back in and say like, oh, how's it going? Like midweek, just check back in. And it's so fun to see people's visions and see them doing them and putting them out there. And it's just So badass. So there you go. Every Monday you can join us in the tribe and share for accountability.
You're like, what's the tribe? The link's now in the chat.
Yay! bledigital.com/tribe. We'll get you there.
Oh yeah. And if you're listening on the podcast, you cannot see the chat.
Okay. That was our 6 questions, but we have a bonus question because we like the number 7 better than 6. Okay. So, am I right?
It's really the only reason why.
Bonus question. Okay. So, this is kind of like, okay, these are just a few little bonuses. These are like the sprinkles on top of everything. So, you can pick a game, right? A game for the year. This is kind of like a 3-part bonus, I'm realizing as we're looking at it. Okay, so here's 3 little ideas for you to supercharge things. 1, you could pick a game for the year. What do you mean a game? Okay, a game is like, how much fun can I have this year? A game is like, how can I, what kind of challenge could I give to myself, right? Like Geraldine is a perfect example. She always is creating these challenges for herself. Like, I'm going to move my body every day, or I'm going to pick up, things do a beach cleanup every single day and post about it, right? Photo a day. Like, just go on Pinterest or like any place in the world, you'll see year-long challenges that you could be a part of. You could, have a decluttering challenge that you do, right? So pick a game. What kind of game? It sounds fun to you, sounds light. Another version of this is to have a word for the year. Danielle Laporte, and then Susanna Conway does Unravel Your Year. So many people, instead of having resolutions, they just like pick a word that will color their whole year, right? So I did this process and I picked the word magic. I want 2019 to be the year of magic. And I just love the feeling of that, like whether that be I'm experiencing more magic, bringing more magic into people's lives, and creating more magic in the world, just like the sound of it. And I'm also really interested in learning like magic tricks. And I don't know, I'm like obsessed with magic right now. I'm also watching Once Upon a Time on Netflix, so that might be
so good.
So good. I didn't even know this show existed.
Oh my God.
And now I'm really in trouble because there's like 7 seasons. Like,
dude, and it gets crazy. Like,
oh my God, I love it.
It starts out with storybook characters, but they bring in like Disney characters. Like, it's so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's stop this now and go watch it.
I know. I mean, I might end up watching it until the new year, so maybe I won't do that right now. Okay.
Yeah. Pick a word for the year, or the next quarter, or month, or week, like whatever.
Or today, like pick a word for the day.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's fun. And it. So I remember what we were going to say, or what I was going to say, like half an hour ago. So the reason also why January 1st resolutions, when someone's like, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? And I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, is because like it takes time to craft your intention, right? And it's not something like, yes, do your weekly planning process when you sit down in an hour every week, right? Or spend a day or two really listening to this episode over and over and over and sinking into the questions and reflecting on them. And what Kimi and I really like to do, because yes, the beginning of a year it's different. It's special. It's not, October 1st, which could be special too, but January 1st, like there's cool energy behind that. So a way to sit in that energy and really experience it and enjoy it is to not just take one day or 1 hour to decide on whatever it is you want to do, but what we love to do is take the entire month of January to just really slow down, set intentions, choose goals, pick your words, whatever that is, and plant the seeds that are going to blossom as the year moves through, right? So it really is a great time for slowing down to speed up. And even if you have like a big launch planned or something that you're excited to create in January, it's still a really good time to do bigger planning, right? So plan out in Q1, right? Like you can recreate this every quarter if you want, but take the time, take several days, if not 4 whole weeks, to plan.
Totally. And experiment, right? It's like, that's what this is about. I think we end up, the worst thing you could do, maybe not the worst thing, but certainly something that I've done to myself is like, I move into this new year with like these great ideas of exactly what I'm going to do. And then I get into my year and I'm like, this is actually isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. And I actually don't really like it. And yet I'll keep doing it because I set this like intention that, oh no, I said I was going to do this every single day of the year. And then I'm trapped by my own creation, right? It's so dumb. Like experiment, play, figure out again. And that's why we love our weekly planning process, because it's this opportunity to reassess every single week, every single month, to say like, yeah, I set the intention to, I don't, I don't have a good example, but like to meditate every day. And actually I effing hate it. So I'm not going to do that anymore. And that's fine. Like there are no hard and fast rules about what you need to do. This is your life. You get to create it. And experiment, play, be light on yourself. And one final bonus question in our triple bonus question is to have an idea of how you will gauge your success. And this is such an important question because if it goes back to the goal setting, right? If we have decided that the way that we're going to be successful is whether or not we hit our goals or not, then if we don't hit our goals, we've already decided that we're going to be miserable, right? So what are other ways that you can gauge your success that are a little bit more fluid, a little more forgiving, allow for that expansion and experimentation and play, right? You could gauge your success based on how much fun you're having. You could gauge your success on, we just did a post recently about like how hard you're laughing every day, right? So think about other ways that you can measure your success besides just numbers or yes or no, I achieved or did this thing that I said that I was going to do.
That's a big one. And I think this one really, your personality really matters on this one. Like I like numbers and tracking numbers motivates me. So, and a really easy example to conceptualize is fitness. And so many people track their fitness goals based on their weight. And we won't go into that because that's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. But there are so many other ways to track fitness, right? You could track your body fat percentage, which is like, again, won't go there. You could track inches, again, won't go there. You could track stamina, right? You could time yourself running a mile and then a month later, run every day a little bit. And then a month later, time yourself again. You could track how, you can lift 100 pounds today. And then next month you can lift 130 pounds. Like there are so many different ways to track fitness. Now, if you have goals other than fitness after listening to this, figure out what those metrics are, or like qualitative things are for whatever motivates you. If it, like for me, I am so motivated by not breaking a chain. So if I want to do something like learn a language, I'm going to get an app like Duolingo is an amazing language app because it's all about not breaking the chain. Consistency is key when you're learning a language, right? So something like that is going to help me to achieve my goal of studying the language 5 times a week. Whatever that is, find out what lights you up, what motivates you. Oh, I just realized I didn't change my name on this thing. Anyway, yeah, that's all.
I thought you were officially changing your name to BLE Digital.
I
am. Yeah, that's so important. Having your metrics for, tracking is, and I think that's different in terms of like measuring the metrics for success, right? Because ultimately, I guess what we're just wanting to tell you right now is that no matter if you break the chain or not, no matter if you, hit all your goals or whatever it is, like that does not define you or your worth or who you are. And that comes from here. Like you are already enough. You are already perfect. We love you. And that like just really take that in and disassociate like the achievement with your self-worth, right? And that's the most important thing that we can do. And as long as you're learning, as long as you're growing, as long as you're doing your best and showing up each day, giving it your best badass shot, then you're winning. You won.
Here's the best. Yes. The best tracker metric is how does this make you feel?
Yep.
Every day, track how you feel. And the things that make you feel awesome and excited and expansive, do more. The
more
things that
of that
crap, do less. That's it. That is the secret.
Mm-hmm.
So when we publish this episode, you're only gonna hear the last 30 seconds. That's all you need. Just kidding.
Yeah. I like this. Okay. I think oh wait, we have one more announcement. I was going to say,
What?
we have an exciting announcement for everybody. So we wanted you guys to be the first to know. So if some of your intentions, goals for 2019, gosh, I'm already going to have trouble writing that. I know. I almost said 2018. 2019 are to launch or grow your business. Oh my gosh. We just announced our first Broadcast to Badass cohort of 2019. It's coming up, so we officially announced our program dates. We wanted you guys to know. So mark your calendars, get ready. You have your calendars already out for this process. Mark your calendar for Tuesday, January 29th. That is when registration is going to open for our program, Broadcast to Badass, 8 weeks to create the online business and life of your dreams. And we have some exciting things happening too leading up. So who is doing the happy dance over there? Whoop, whoop. So we're going to have trainings for you guys on this page and also in our private Facebook group, BLEdigital.com/tribe, all throughout January. So we're going to be doing some live, super awesome free business trainings for you guys. It's part of our B2B launch party excitement that we have happening in January. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, Tuesday, January 28th, guys. Oh, we're so excited.
There's so many windows open. This is so dumb.
Oh man. Okay, so if you guys want to grab the weekly planner to follow along with this, and or if you'd like to set the intention to do this weekly planning process each week of 2019, you can go to bledigital.com/badass. And we just wish you guys the happiest new year. And we are so excited to continue to grow and glow and party with you in 2019.
She's a starter and a closer.
Boom.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Come visit us in the tribe on Facebook, bledigital.com/tribe, and on Instagram @BroadcastToBadass. And for badasses ready to launch and grow their businesses in 2019, our first Broadcast to Badass cohort of the new year is coming up. Enrollment opens on Tuesday, January 29th. So keep your eye out for emails from us throughout January. If you're not on our list, you can grab your free planner, hop on our list so that you don't miss any of the free business trainings that we have coming up for you. You can go to bledigital.com and you'll find everything there. Have a great week, guys.